Some things are just unexplainable. Those flashes of light, that knowing that you have just before something happens, or that voice in your head that's helping you solve whatever difficulty you may be experiencing. Sure, you can pretend it isn't happening or act like it's no big deal, but wouldn't you rather know who you're talking to, where that assistance is coming from, and whether you can trust it? We live in a physical world that we can see and touch, but everything in that world is made up of energy. So those things you thought were unexplainable are just bits of energy you may be unable to see. Welcome, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, here with you on Angel Heart Radio. And if you're ready to really understand the energetic realm and how it can help you, stay with me, because when we come back, we're going to learn how to talk with the angels.
Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools for transformation, positivity, joy, and hope. They should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice. Welcome to Angel Heart Radio, where we celebrate you. We celebrate your divine connection. We celebrate your magnificence. We celebrate you as a beautiful being here on planet Earth, sharing your love and your light. We are so blessed to have amazing hosts here on Angel Heart Radio. We fan your seeds of hope and we help you to plant more. AngelHeartRadio.com is our station, and AngelLight777.com is our big sister. All the links, the series, host information, how to visit us, and really how to receive the best from Angel Heart Radio, and a whole lot more besides. Thank you for choosing to be with us on Angel Heart Radio. We're so grateful to share with you. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is brought to you by AngelLight777.com.
Everything is energy. Nothing exists that is made from some other substance. Everything is energy. We just have to get used to that concept, and then we're going to have a much easier time talking with the energetic realm. The only difference between the physical and the spiritual is not what they're made of, but how quickly they move. So when you are looking at something that appears solid in the physical realm, you're looking at something that has slow-moving particles. When you're looking at the spiritual, especially the energetic realm, the angels, it is a very fast vibration and very difficult to see. It's one of the reasons that we don't regularly see the angels in our physical realm, is because it requires of them a great amount of energy to slow themselves down to the point where we can see them. So we need to learn to walk more by faith and not by sight. The difference is only that a slower particle can be seen by our physical eyes, and the fast ones may appear as a mist or flashing lights or just an impression of something. Oftentimes, we may call that a ghost. And often you will see flashes of light in different colors, and that will generally represent the angels, because remember, each of the angels is associated with a different color frequency because they have different strengths in different areas. So when they are flashing a particular color, they may be sharing with you who they are. Flash of blue, it would be Archangel Michael. A flash of green, it would be Archangel Raphael. Flash of violet, it's Saint Germain, and so on. The color would help you identify them. So now we have our first caller. And before we begin, as always, if you feel that you're sharing information that may be personal or sensitive, you do not have to use your given name. But I do need a name to call you. So calling from 951. No, it didn't. There we go. Calling from 951. How are you today?
Hi, Marcia. It's Nathaniel calling in. I'm doing pretty good.
Well, hello. How did your surgery go? You had a lot of angels with you. I know that for sure.
Great. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. We went to the lab and they tested the lymph nodes, and they found 2 of 18 that were cancerous. So they want to do chemotherapy now. I was wondering if I should really do that or not, if that's necessary, or just kind of going ahead with it. But, they have me on disability now. I don't want them to take me off that. So it leads to then on December 20th, my financial assistance runs out. So I'm reapplying for that on November 20th is the first day I can apply for that. Otherwise, it's going to cost a lot of money that I don't have.
Okay,
but they may, I'm thinking they said that it's 50% chance that, they got everything. And if I do chemo, it's 75% chance. But there's a chance of course, losing, my hair, and then the teeth rot out and a lot of other stuff, goes bad. So I may try a treatment or two of it and not continue, or, I'm not sure.
Well, these are really important concerns, and it's very wonderful. I hesitate to use that word because it's not a wonderful circumstance, but it is wonderful to go to the energetic realm when you have decisions that feel as though you don't have the information available to make an accurate decision. Certainly, I am not a medical intuitive. I cannot tell you, oh, this is what I know, or this is what I don't know, or this is what they're sharing with me. That's not something that I do. And so I wouldn't ever want to venture an opinion in that direction. But here's what I want to encourage you to do, and that is we all come with a truth meter, and I find most often that it's located in our heart. And so when we begin accessing situations and we need to understand, would this be good for us or would this not be beneficial? I find that most people, now this is going to vary person by person, so I can only give you the majority of people, and we'll have to figure out what's best for you here in just a second. But most people find that the heart seems to feel at ease when it is something positive or truthful, and the gut tends to clench up, or you feel a little nauseous when it is something that is going to be adversarial for you. And that's one of the ways that we can communicate with the angels. Of course, one of the
heart would be yes, and the gut would be no.
That's what most people have found, and we're going to experiment that with that for you in just a minute. But one of the other things that I'm just going to throw out a couple of ways that are easy that the angels can communicate with you. But we have to remember, never are you going to receive a message from the divine that will make you feel shameful, ridiculed, hurt, embarrassed. That is only from the ego. So we got to be really careful, because this is a voice in our head or a feeling somewhere in the body or a vision. It can be replicated to a certain degree, imitated by the ego to a certain degree, except it's most likely that the ego will not be sharing divine truth with you. The ego shares what it believes is going to give it the most life. Now, what does that mean, and why do we even have egos? I used to be quite angry at God for a while because I said, why are we stuck with this competing voice that just seems to get in the way? But the ego does a wonderful job of motivating us. It often demoralizes us and makes us feel scared and oftentimes stupid and may make us feel embarrassed. But if we encounter that enough times, most of us begin to say, you know what, I'm done. I'm done feeling bad. I've got to find another way. And so when I really heard that from the divine, that the ego is designed to be our motivator, to push us to investigate how we can strengthen our relationship with the divine, it made sense. Because honestly, if nothing was working against me, I would not have put in the hours and the resources and the dedication that I put in order to really understand. And I don't know of anybody else that would just say, hey, I don't have anything better to do today. Let me just sit down and really comprehend how I can get into a partnership with God. It's not the most fun thing, and it doesn't offer immediate rewards because it requires a great deal of growth. So the ego is really helping us when we understand the role that it's playing. It feels like your biggest adversary, and it feels like it's preventing you, but it's really prodding you forward. So if you hear the voice that says to you, Nathaniel, of course you need to get chemo. Don't be a fool. That's a voice I wouldn't trust. That now doesn't mean that you don't get chemo. It means you dig deeper. But anytime there is ridicule or shame or condemnation, I don't ever feel that came from an angelic or a divine source. So now you need to dig deeper. Okay, well, that's one way of looking at it, but I don't feel comfortable with that answer. I'm not sure that it's coming from you, God, the divine source, whatever you want to call that all-seeing, all-knowing being. Please give me confirmation or help me understand this in a way that will feel good to me. Now, that's different from when we say, angels, help me with this answer. And you wait 5 seconds and you say, well, angels, why aren't you helping me? And then you go back another 5 seconds. I asked you to help me, angels. The difference between the two is, oh my goodness, it looks like I've screwed up. Hang on, Nathaniel. Let me see if I can fix this. I am having such a cuckoo day with this. It's telling me I have 90 seconds, which means I'm going to have to figure out a way to extend the show. Hold on. How do I do this? Oh my goodness. This daylight savings time totally made me cuckoo, and I should have made it. The show originates out of Australia, so I should have made it an hour later, and I didn't. Now, how do I do this? Click to edit. Okay, let me see if I can save. Let's see what happens here. Fingers crossed. Oh my gosh. Angels, thank you. I'm probably one of the least adept technology people.
Except for me.
I love you. I have gotten to the point where I just say, angels, I really need your help. Do you know they showed me how to do that quickly? As soon as I stepped out of panic. Now, ego was like, oh, you idiot. Look, you did it again. You really screwed it up this time. Angels were like, calm down. Just look at this press that button and it will let you extend. Hallelujah. Okay, so that was the perfect example of the war between the ego and the angels. The ego, oh, you're such an idiot. You always do the technology crazy. You forgot to make the show an hour later so that it's really at the correct time for the U.S.
It's super stupid award.
Yes, yes, that's the ego. But the angels were like, hold steady, just push this button.
Divine intelligence.
That's the difference.
Universal
so
mind.
there's always an answer, but if you're in panic, if you're in fear, if you're in that place where you can't hear them because you're closing yourself off out of fear, you are only going to be able to hear the ego. So the problem is, though, we get really impatient. And so we step out of faith, and again, we're stepping into fear. So what I was explaining is, if we say, okay, angels, I really need help with this problem. So let's take this example that they provided so beautifully for us. Apparently, when I set this show up, I had forgotten to extend the time to the full length of the show, and I left it at the default setting, which is 15 minutes. So it was telling me, oh, your show is about to end. I'm like, what? That's not right. So immediately the fear, the panic sets in with the technology. Uh-oh, now I'm going to have to figure this out. And it's not easy for me. So I wanted to clench up, to get closed off from my guidance. But luckily, I have been doing this for so long that a wise part of me stepped in and said, no, you don't. You will not go there. You will stay open and calm so you can receive. But if I had said, angels, you have to help me figure this out. You have to help me figure this out right this minute. And then 2 seconds go by. Angels, I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. I am not allowing them to commune with me. I am staying in a fear-based place, and I am refusing to participate in the partnership that would provide the answer. So you'll often hear it referred to as digging up your seed. You know, you're supposed to plant your seed of faith in fertile ground. Well, all that means is allow yourself to believe that you are loved by God and that God will answer your prayers. And by God, I mean all of the beings of light in the energetic realm. But the work that we must do is refuse to step into fear. So we ask God for the information. And in this particular case for you, Nathaniel, it would be, angels, I need help understanding whether it would be best for me to participate in chemotherapy or whether I should just not agree. Now, we don't know. And we're not going to make judgments, and we're not going to put our opinion in there. And I don't want you running to Google and Googling it and trying to learn it that way. That's good information, but it's going to color your vision. So I want you to stay as pure and as open as you can. You've planted the seed. Make sure that the place that you are planting it is a place of faith, and that means that you are willing to trust that the answer will be forthcoming at the right time. Now, what's your job in this? Your job is really important. First of all, you must understand no one, absolutely no one, can be cut off completely from the divine. So any time you go to the energetic realm in prayer or supplication or just with a question, you are automatically heard. There is no one that is not heard. The next thing you need to know is you are always answered. And actually, the answer is usually forthcoming just as you are forming the question, because we are not dealing with another human being. We're dealing with infinite intelligence that already knows that Nathaniel is going to have this question. They've already seen the big picture. They know that you're going to be questioning which is the best route for you. So the answer is already on its way to you before you formulate the question. Your job is to be a good receiver. That means you've got to stay open and alert, because the angels, the energetic realm, can communicate with you in so many different ways. So let's go over a couple of the ways that you can receive an answer. So your question is, let's just do it one way and not both ways. So instead of asking a double-sided question, let's just ask the question, should I agree to chemotherapy? So we're not going to do, or should I not? Just, should I agree to have chemotherapy at this time? That's going to be your question. Now, they can answer you with all sorts of symbols, with numbers, with synchronistic events, with signs, with songs on the radio, with colors, but they will always answer you. It's so important that you understand that there is absolutely nothing that will prevent the energetic realm from answering. You are so powerful, however, that you can prevent yourself from receiving the answer. So what you're going to do is just state the question, angels, should I go forward with chemotherapy? Now leave it there and immediately step away from the question. The energy of the question is one energy. Now let's pretend that you're actually taking a giant step. You're not actually going to do it, but we're going to take an energetic step to the side or forward or back or wherever you feel you need to be in order to be in your receiving place. You ask the question from a place of not knowing. Now you need to get into your receiving place, which is your place of knowing. So I want you, Nathaniel, to energetically move yourself to the place where you are able to receive the answer. It's a place of certainty. Okay, do you feel like you're in that place?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so now I want you to work with the truth meter. Now, because this is something that you're just learning, and this question is not, what should I wear today? Should I wear a yellow shirt? This is a very important question. I want you to go back for confirmation. So we're not just going to go with the first answer. And going back for confirmation is very different from not giving yourself time to receive the answer. So going back for confirmation is, angels, I believe that I understand what you're saying to me, but I need to be absolutely sure. Please resend the answer or send it in a different form that I will easily be able to understand. Now, notice that I am creating a relationship with the angels. I am explaining to them where my difficulty is, or this is a really major decision for me, angels. I really want to make sure that I'm getting it correctly. They absolutely respect the learner in all of us, the student in us. So when we come to the energetic realm and say, I think I got it, but I really want confirmation. You're establishing a relationship. You are becoming someone they can work with and that who wants to work with them. And they love that kind of interaction. Think of you if you were trying to teach someone, just if you, let's say you're trying to teach someone to ride a bicycle. If they say to you, "Oh, I already know how, no thanks," or "I'm not interested," or "You showed me that yesterday," you don't want to help that person again. They're not taking your assistance seriously, or they're
Even
acting like you don't.
connected. They're not connected with you. They're not even listening. They're not. It's not a connection.
Right. So
Right.
when we begin
So
dialoguing with the angels and saying, "I think I've got it," you are not saying, "Where's my answer? Where's my answer?" That's fear. We're saying, "Okay, this is what I received, angels," or "I noticed this sign, the sequential numbers, or these particular colors, or this song, but I really need confirmation. This is a really big decision for me, and I want to make sure, 100% sure, that I am hearing you or interacting correctly with you." So that's why I don't want you. It's good to practice with things like, "Angels, should I wear a yellow shirt today?" That's just practice. It doesn't matter if you get it wrong. It doesn't matter. Doesn't change your life in any way. It's just good practice. Same thing with parking spots. It's great practice to engage with them and have them share with us where the parking space is located. Not going to change your life, not going to do anything to you, but it will help you learn to interact with them because they are not screaming in your ear. They are not going to jump up and down on your head. It's a very subtle communication, and you've got to get attuned to receiving it. It can be easy to miss if we're not paying attention, but they can send you change, loose change on the ground or on the sidewalk when you're walking, feathers, and I mentioned numbers before and songs on the radio. But the one thing that I really want to share with you is the um, ability to use this truth meter. So we're going to begin setting up some things that are true and things that are lies, and you won't know what I'm going to ask in advance because I want you to get used to locating the way your body communicates with you. As I said, I've taught this to other people, and most people feel that its heart tends to respond if it's true, and the gut or somewhere else in the body tends to have a reaction if it's false. So let me think of some easy things that we can use. So the first thing would be your name is Nathaniel. Where do you feel that in your body?
like my heart and kind of my heart and gut and my throat maybe.
Okay. So
Yeah,
we're gonna do a few more, and then I see I have another caller. So caller, if you can just hang on while we get through this truth meter, then I'm gonna make sure that you have time with the angels as well. So we want you to locate it a little more specifically so that it will be easy for you to tell which thing is happening. So I'm just going to keep going, and I'm not going to tell you which things are not true and which things are in advance, just so your body will react and you'll be able to get a better read on it. So it's currently nighttime. Where are you feeling that?
My heart.
Okay. Is it currently nighttime where you are?
No, it's till about 3:30 or so.
Okay. So you're still getting a little bit of confusion because that's a blatantly untrue statement. So let's keep going.
It might be nighttime where you are though.
Okay, so that wasn't good for you. That was not a clear enough statement. Excellent. This is the best way that you can work with angels. If it doesn't come through clearly, you keep going until you understand. So let's find something else that grass is usually green. Where do you feel that?
My heart.
Okay. Pumpkins are usually orange.
Kind of my heart and throat area. Well, I don't know why.
Okay, that's interesting. Now the throat has come up several times. This is good. You're beginning to locate what may be considered truth for you. We can see the sun when it's nighttime.
That's going to be more in the gut, belly, lower kind of belly button area.
Good. Now, I mean, don't get too scientific on me and say, well, just go with. We're just trying to get some base things going on here. Blue is the color of Archangel Michael.
That's going to be around the throat area.
All right. Now that's interesting because the throat chakra is also blue, so that might have been confusing. Okay. But are you getting the idea of what we're doing here? It's easier when you have situations. I'm trying to think of some other good ones that are just so easy. Okay. Red is the color of the root chakra.
Yeah, that's going to be heart throat area maybe.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. So heart throat is where it seems to center for you when it's true. Let's try 3 more, and then we're going to go to our next caller. So, walnut is a dark-colored wood. Walnut stain would be dark wood.
I'm not sure about that. Is walnut dark, or is that kind of medium?
Don't make it so hard on me. Go with dark, okay?
Okay.
Don't use your smart brain. Just kind of go with
I'll say that's heart
okay.
Area.
And here's an easier one. Pine is a light colored wood.
Yes, pine is. So that would be
right.
heart.
Here's another one. I'm trying to pick things that are kind of universal. Asphalt is black.
That would be heart area.
Okay, now let's try.
Those kind of lower heart. I don't know, because if it's black, I don't know. If it's black, it seems a little lower.
That's interesting. Okay, so you've got to give yourself permission not to attach to the statement. You just want to be in a free-flowing space, and you're not judging it good or bad. You just want to see what feels true to you and what doesn't. So now, let me ask you something else. During the day, the sky is always purple.
That feels lower kind of stomach area.
All right. Now I want to ask you something else. chemo is the right choice for me?
That feels kind of gut area. I may want to go along with it. I may get a treatment and not continue, or I'm not exactly sure. But I don't have to continue with it.
Okay.
So.
Well, we're not going to make.
I want to tell them that I'm going to do it, for disability areas, because if I tell them I'm not going to do it, they may send me back to work right away. And I want some more time off, and I want to decide. Not sure if they're going to cut me off or approve it, so I even can do it without paying thousands of dollars for it.
Okay, well, we're not making the decision today. You're throwing it out there, and you're allowing.
I have to the 14th would be my first day, since my surgery was on the 14th. They don't want to start it until 30 days, till the 14th of November.
Okay, you're throwing it out there for now.
Yeah,
and I want you to just stay open and be on the alert for signs. Now we got to go to another caller. And now it's okay. From 785. You too. Thank you, Nathaniel.
Bye-bye.
785. Oh, wait a minute. It's not. There we go. Hi there.
Hello, Marcia. Hi, this is Joan calling in.
Hi, Joan.
Hi, and I have a question for you, and I thought that what you were talking about with how you can actually identify if you're really hearing from the angels or if it's more ego was very, very enlightening and interesting. But here's my question. Do the angels ever give us a true answer, one that comes from them, that takes us down a path of challenge versus ease?
Oh, what a brilliant question. Yes. Unfortunately, the answer to that is yes, because they can see the whole picture. And if it's not possible for you to get from point A to point B without going through the challenge, they will send you through the challenge because they know getting you to point B is the most important thing they can do. So they don't do it to punish you. This is why we always get confused, and this is why this is such a brilliant question. Let's say you are, let's just use point A and point B. You're at point A, and you have three choices. You can just stay at point A. You can turn around and go negative point A, or you can go forward to point B. And if you are looking at it from your regular mind and you see all these options laid out in front of you, you see, okay, well, if I just reverse my steps, I can get out of this debacle, and then I won't have to have this big challenge. Or if I just stay here, maybe the whole thing will just blow over and I won't have to deal with this challenge. And you feel like, even though you see that clearly, that there are ways that you don't have to deal with this challenge, you feel like you're being pushed into this incredible growth opportunity. And it may feel like, ick, why are you being so mean? And oftentimes that's when I hear from people, I think God really hates me. However, having not been able to avoid many growth opportunities in my life, I look back and say, oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you had allowed me to take the easy path, I would have circumvented all of this growth. And I wouldn't be able to be doing what I'm doing today. I wouldn't be able to operate without judgment or be kind and loving to myself. that part was missing for me before I went through the challenges. I was able to be kind and loving to others, but not to myself. And it took me imploding before I could see that I had value that needed to be recognized and honored if my life was going to have any value whatsoever. So I went kicking and screaming into a few of those challenges, and I am so grateful that they did not encourage me to just turn around and walk the other way. The way that you know that it's an angelic push instead of an ego challenge is that even when you're entering it, you know that this is going to bring you something really fabulous. It's not, you don't go with shame or ridicule hanging over your head. You may not want to be delighted, it may not make you feel like, oh, hooray. But you're not going to feel like they're out to get you. I hope that makes sense. Like when the ego used to have me do things, I would feel like, well, I don't want to do this, but I have so little to offer the world that the only thing that I can offer is this act of sacrifice. When the angels ask me to do something, I will say, is this a way in which I can serve? And I understand that when I am serving, I will also receive something of benefit instead of being the one that is perceived to be the servant or the lesser one. So does that help you? Does that make sense?
It just becomes confusing because I thought I had really taken the time to speak to the angels and ask for guidance, a lot of time in meditation and prayer. And at the beginning of the decision that took me on a path, everything felt very exciting and joyful. And then it took a complete 180. And 16 years later, I'm still fighting the situation where I went in with the best of intentions to open a spiritual retreat center with, I thought, the angels, and with, I thought, all the desire to serve, all of the right intentions. And then in very short order, the first steps of that have turned into a 16-year legal battle. So I'm just maybe not sure of when it's my ego, and I've thought of this many times, and when it's the angels. So when you're going through, my question is, if you feel that you have gone through so many of the steps you've already mentioned, Marcia, to get to where you understand in your heart that this is the right step to take, but then it turns into the wrong step, do we question that we heard the angels incorrectly, or are we back to, well, the angels know the ultimate outcome and the personal growth of this journey, so yes, they have put you on the path, even though it has taken the 180 turn to make things, I'll say even, at some point you say if it's shameful or embarrassing or anything, it feels like the wrong path. So
right.
The confusion, you can see the confusion in all of this when you're trying to trust the angels, and then you start to lose, let's just even say you start to lose faith when what you thought was the right path turns so against you.
That's when you go back and say, angels, I need help. I can't see the blessing in this. And so I'm going to need your greater vision to be able to help me to see what it was that I needed to learn. And if I've learned it, to allow me to be released from this circumstance. This is now becoming quite dragging on my energy. And so I really need your help. I have an open dialogue going with them constantly of, hey, I can't do this on my own. I am completely certain that it will not go well if I try to attempt this on my own, and whenever I get into a circumstance where I feel like, whoa, did I misread the signs or what's going on? I go back to them and say, okay, I'm clueless. I can't figure it out. You're going to need to help me. I need to get out of this situation immediately, or you need to explain to me why I need to stay in, because I feel like it's all gone crazy and I can't find the good in it. I can't find the blessing. Now, we're not coming from a place of blame. We're coming from a place of responsibility, and they are wonderful at honoring us when we honor them. So when we realize I might have gotten it wrong right from the beginning, or perhaps this was just to be one of the greatest lessons that I'm ever going to be able to encounter, then we're in that position of no blame and no shame, just learning, and we're partnering with them and able to be respectful of the wisdom that they can share with us. And so it just makes us the perfect student. And honestly, because I know that, I don't think you made a mistake. I'm not sure what the blessing is in this situation yet, but that is something that we'll explore together, because you need to know. It can be very unsettling to be in something that doesn't change no matter what you seem to do to it. So one of the things that you can do is just very straightforward. Angels, I really need to see some benefit. I am really weary. I have stopped pretending at all with the angels. So if I'm feeling tired, I tell them, this is really wearing me out. I need to see some benefit. I started my journey with them by trying to pretend I was really great. I've got this, angels. Don't worry. Take as long as you need. And now I'm just like, you know what, guys? I'm done. I'm so tired. I can't find the benefit. You're going to have to help me out with this one. I want to quit. I've just gotten extremely honest with them. They know what we're going through anyway. And trying to pretend that you are okay when you're not isn't honoring who they are. And they're fun. They like to have fun. They will tease me, and they will tease you once they see that they can play with you. But they never hurt you. So they would never.
I have one question too. Kind of where you went to, though, when you can go to the angels. I thought that was a very interesting comment you made. You can literally go to the angels and say, "Did I misread you the first time around?" I'm curious when you have done that, how they have answered you, how you have known again that was the answer from the angels, and again not your ego, because this is where it gets so confusing. Is it me thinking this and having this ego in my mind, or is it the angels speaking to me?
Brilliant. Again, ego always comes with shame, even when I've gotten it wrong.
Okay.
The angels will say, from where you were standing, you could probably only see Main Street. However, we needed you to go down on First Street. And you should have continued to dialogue with us throughout this when you started feeling uncomfortable. The only mistake you made was to stop talking to us. That I can accept. Ego would say, you idiot. What were you doing on Main Street? We told you to go to First. That would be ego. Angels would be...
Now that brings me to a point of thinking that the disconnect might have been to only have included the prayer, meditation, angel piece of it in the decision of yes, move forward, or no, don't move forward. And then maybe not being conscious of keeping that spirit alive through the whole process. Because I have a feeling now that you say that might have been what the disconnect was, because I trust my own abilities as a person here who's done successful things. But in this realm, when I felt the angels were speaking to me after they said, yes, go ahead and do it, I kind of like, thanks, you gave me your answer. I'll talk to you in 10 years. You know, is that a reality? Is that what goes on with the angels? You need to keep them tapped in through the whole process?
Well, I find, yes, but I find if I'm going to fall off the bridge, it's when I say, oh, goody, I've got this. I don't need you anymore to help me. Then I might as well just take a header onto a concrete block, because it's not going to go well. But
and it's not that a conscious, I'm going to get rid of this, you know, my beliefs and my spirituality and all of that. It's always at the core. But sometimes you step into the real world, so to speak, and you know that there's certain things you have to do, and you use your intellect and your experience and your business acumen or whatever it is to bring that forth. But this has been just one of the greater challenges, but I've had other challenges as we're talking about. Is it ego or is it the angels? And I'm just, I guess, continuing to learn and explore.
Well, and I think this is just, and it's such an intricate thing. So are you going to get the answer immediately right all the time? Probably not, because we're all growing. So what I have discovered is, angels, what should I do? We were talking with Nathaniel. Should I have the chemo? Well, right now, his gut is not feeling in line with that. And I advise that you continue to check in. It's not just one and done. So in your case, they may have been encouraging you. And honestly, I have to say, when I look back on the things that seemed to have gone cuckoo, and I think, gosh, angels, you could have hung in there with me and given me a high sign. I do generally find that I wasn't paying attention. I had gone on autopilot, and I really wasn't checking in with them, or I was like, well, I got this. I don't have to have them. Or I could remember times when they were trying to get my attention, and I was thinking, oh, yeah, I'll get to you later. Let me just finish this. There really are very few times I feel like I asked for their assistance and received one answer and had a situation like yours where it seemed to run off the rails. When I go back, I can see that they were trying to get my attention, or that I was ignoring symptoms or indicators that, I need to go back and ask for more help. You know how sometimes you just kind of get in a groove and you think, I'm just not going to see that stop sign. I'm on a roll here. There were too many stop signs that I ignored along the way. Usually when I get myself in a pickle, those stop signs were there and I just wasn't paying attention.
So there's a belief that we shouldn't have obstacles in life, because I see them more as obstacles versus someone that maybe, and it's just maybe just a way of phrasing it differently, versus stop signs. Or is a stop sign more stop and look and think again what direction you're heading in?
Yeah, we're definitely going to have obstacles, and especially if it's a life challenge, you're not going to be able to avoid the challenge, the obstacle, whatever you want to call it, until you have overcome it. You're going to keep meeting it again and again and again. But what I mean by stop signs is when I say to the angels, well, angel, should I go to the grocery store today at 4:00? And they say, yeah, sure. And I step out of my house and I immediately get this feeling like I don't need to be doing this, and I do it anyway. Then I am opening myself up for an experience that may be unpleasant, and its only benefit may be to remind me that I am better off staying connected than when I try to live my life from a place of, I got this.
Mhm.
So, then they would, I decide I'm going to go to the grocery store. I go to the grocery store and I lose my wallet. I can't go back to the angels and blame them because they were telling me, heads up, Marcia, this is not a good time for you to go, or check with us before you go. And then they may have said to me, you really need to pay attention to where you put your wallet at the store today. Oh, okay, now I can go. Ego would say, you're such an idiot. Why did you go to the grocery store when you knew you shouldn't? Of course you lost your wallet. You see the difference between the interactions? One is helping me learn. The other is just trying to make me feel small and foolish. And that's not a bad thing, completely, because after I had had enough ego, I finally rebelled and said, I'm tired of feeling bad. There's got to be something better than this. And that really put me on the path. So for me, ego became an incredible accelerant to my growth.
And it sounds to me like this self-talk of ego, which says you're stupid, you're incompetent, whatever it says, is a big piece of this. How do the angels fit into the piece that's called negative self-talk?
They're not in that. They will offer you loving correction, but they will not offer you...
Do they ever try to warn you against it, or ever bring it to your attention? Oh, there you go.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I have what I call an angel alarm set. So I say to them, when I'm going to run down negative alley, please bring it to my attention. And they will say to me, like when I thought that when I had the wrong time on the show and I thought was not going to be able to do it, my physical self wanted to, oh my gosh, and the angels, calm, are you sure you want to go there? Just look at this button. Look at the button. Don't go there. You sure you want to go? They don't even say don't go there because they always know they honor my free will. So it is just, are you sure you want to go there? Are you going to, do you know what's down that way? let go of it. You don't have to, those kinds of things. Never forcing, don't you dare go down there. You're never going to find the answer. That's not coming from them. They are gentle correctors. Let it go. Look at the button. Just look at the button. Are you sure you want to go there? You're starting to panic. Just look at the button. You don't have to panic. Ego's like, you're an idiot. How stupid can you get? You know this show is is out of Australia. Why didn't you check the time? How is that helpful? That's not helping me.
So when you entreated them to help you with this alarm system, was that something you could ask once, or do you ask numerous times, or make it sort of part of your prayer process? How do we entreat them to give us these alarms?
Okay, let's all do that together. So right now we're just going to close our eyes, and we're inviting to converse with us and to join with us only those beings that are 100% pure white light. That means they are angelic beings of the energetic realm. They are part of the divine. And now we simply give them permission, and then you state your name. Give you permission, angels, to call to my attention when I am heading off in a direction that will be hurtful to me, negative, or impact me in a harmful or difficult way.
Can we
And
add to that, or impact others?
sure, absolutely, because
If our
they
words
want,
can hurt others, we don't want that either.
absolutely. So let's add that. And angels, we ask that you guide us in thinking the thoughts and participating in the activities that are for the highest good of all concerned. And I like to add, angels, I give you permission to read my thoughts, for us to have a conversation that is in my head so that I don't need to speak out loud to you. And then I can hear you anywhere, anytime, and at any place. Now, what happens if you are not clairaudient, if you don't hear them? They can show you signs. You can feel them in your body. They're not confined to words. I do hear them, and I tend to say things like "we're here" because I do hear them, and that just comes out of my mouth. So I don't want to confuse anybody. You can see them. People who are quite clairvoyant can see them, or you can feel them in your body. They will communicate with you. Just be friends with them. Create a relationship with them. Angels, I don't think I got that. Can you send it again? It didn't happen for me immediately. It took me a while to have the relationship with them, and I played with different things. This angel alarm, I finally was out of frustration. Angels, if I I keep messing up, I really need help. How can you help me? What can I do so that you will stop me or help me see when I'm heading into a disaster? And they came up with the angel alarm that we now have all activated in ourselves. Now, you don't need to keep setting an angel alarm. It is set, but you do need to pay attention. So whenever you're going into a situation, angels, I trust that you're here with me and that you will provide guidance. If you are feeling something, angels, is that you? It's not going to, if this is something new to you, it's going to feel a little awkward in the beginning, and that's okay. It's a new skill that you're learning. And so you don't have to keep setting the alarm, but you do have to keep checking in. Because if you never check in, it's just going to fade away, just like our muscles get flabby and flaccid if we don't use them. You are going to have to keep using the angel alarm if it's going to really work in your life. It's now automatic for me, and I forget to share it with people sometimes because it's been years that they've been helping me. And it's like two different, you know how the cartoons often show an angel and a devil on people's shoulders. It's kind of like that. The ego is like, oh my gosh, you screwed up. The show's going to turn off, and then you don't know how to start it again, and on and on. Panic plus. That's in one ear. In the other ear, it's just look at the button. Look at the button. Press on the button, and you'll get your choices. It's the perfect angel devil routine from the cartoons. But it didn't start out that way. It started out with a lot of, gosh, I hope I got it, angels. Help me out, angels. Oh, I hope this is, it's okay not to be sure, to stumble, to make a mistake, to get up and start again. And your goal is to have a friendship with the angels and not a dictatorship. The energetic realm doesn't dictate. You have free will. You can still choose to run into that brick wall at top speed, and they will allow it to happen. But they will give you the opportunity to make a better choice.
Thank you, Marcia. That was a blessing.
Oh, good. All right, we've got one more caller, and we're running out of time here, guys. So thank you so much. And now 917, you have been so patient. What's your question? How can we help you?
Well, first of all, I enjoyed listening to the show, so it was a pleasure to hold on so long.
Oh, thank you.
I was really listening to the last caller because I seem to be going through that situation. I've been trying to figure out why I'm in the same situation at work. Have I not learned the lesson? I thought I did. And so I've been actually, as you guys were talking about what to say to your angels, I've been repeating those things. Well, actually, can we talk about that? Do you see whether or not I've learned this lesson? Have I figured out what the lesson is?
So can you explain to me what's happening at work? Give us a little bit of background.
Work. My job duties changed drastically over the years, and I'm really no longer performing the job for which I was hired. And it's not a promotion. It's just that I'm doing, I think, which is tasks that are really not within my skill set, which I have no interest in. But it's a small place, and I've ended up doing it just because I like to help out. And it's like, I think I gave too willing. I think one of the lessons I learned is that I gave too willingly and accepted these tasks. And I think it's been to my detriment.
Yeah. Okay. Let's analyze that part, and then we're going to go to the next part, because when you first started talking about work, I kept hearing she's being the servant. I know that one really well. Kind-hearted people love to get in these positions where you overextend yourself trying to be kind. So you're going to have to look at the situation and say, what can I do and feel good about? And where have they crossed the line? And then it's going to be necessary, in order for you to grow from this situation, for you to sit down with them and say, I have been helping you for all these years, and I did take on these tasks, but I really don't feel comfortable doing this. I don't feel that it's within my skill set, and I really want to return to a place where I can shine and be of the most benefit to you, and get back into a way in which I can enjoy my work life. Work has gone from a place of joy to a place of drudgery, and I'm really don't want that to continue. So one of the things that Mother God is really adamant about is understanding the difference between selfless and selfish. And almost every heart-centered person has that confused. Selfish is not when you are looking out for yourself. She defines selfish as trying to do it on your own without divine guidance and divine assistance. She defines selfless as the person who is willing to align themselves with the divine and then agrees to fill themselves up completely, and then from the overflow give to whatever situation or people may be needing help. Most heart-centered people just empty themselves until they are without a drop of water trying to serve. But that's the old paradigm. And it's time for you to realize, hey, I'm being taken advantage of. This doesn't feel good. It doesn't honor me, and I'm not enjoying it. And if you need to love yourself so much that you're willing to stand up and say, even if it requires getting another job, I must honor myself and love myself so much that I will not put up with being in a position that doesn't feel nice. You're not doing your best work when you don't feel loved or appreciated or excited about what you're doing. And if they really knew who you were, they would, or if they were really a smart employer, they would say, we need to put everyone in a position that feels good to them, where they can really stretch and grow and learn more about this skill that they already are proficient at. So, in other words, it would be if somebody said to me, okay, Marcia, you're going to have to be the computer person in the company. I mean, first of all, they would be idiots because that's really a dumb thing. But it would be immediately asking me to work at a quarter capacity of my ability because that's all the computer knowledge I have. It would eliminate me from being able to be creative because I would be trying to understand technical jargon that doesn't even make sense to me. So all of my time would be spent trying to understand the terminology, and none of my time would go toward benefiting the company. If they are not allowing you to perform in the place where your skills are most beneficial, then they're not honoring you and they're making a huge mistake.
No, I agree. And actually, we've had discussions regarding what I should be doing for over the last, 14 months, 15 months.
So now it's gone on too long. And now you need to say, okay, I'm really clear. So here's the next thing I'd like you to do. It's called dominant, non-dominant handwriting, and it's going to take you a while to get used to it, but I want you to write on a piece of paper with your dominant hand, the hand that you would use to write checks or give your signature. Angels, what are these, what should I be doing in my job? I'm trying to make a simple question. What job duties should I have, or what should I be doing in my job? You write that out with your dominant hand, and then you switch the pen to your non-dominant hand, and you write whatever comes into your mind. Now, you're going to need to practice because that's a pretty specific question, but I want you to get used to dialoguing with the angels in that way. Or if you're extremely good at seeing or feeling, make a list of all of the job duties and go down the list. I should be handling the computers. And if my stomach just goes, oh, and that would be for me, I'd have to cross that off the list. Make a list of all the things that you're required to do now, and just go down the list and see how you feel about each thing. And then you can present them. Hey, these are my skill strengths. These are the things that I enjoy doing, and these are the things that I am willing to do for this company. And because you have been with them for a considerable period of time, and it's a small company, there should be some give. If there isn't any give, you've outgrown them, and you deserve to look around for something and someone who can honor who you really are. And now let me just explain what happens when we switch the pen from one hand to the other. There is a band of energy in the brain, in the midbrain area, and it's called the corpus callosum. It attaches the two hemispheres, the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. And information from the energetic realm comes in the right hemisphere and has to cross over the corpus callosum. It's collected in the right hemisphere. It has to cross the corpus callosum, which is like an energetic bridge, and get into the language center to be processed, because the energetic realm can only communicate in energy, and you need to translate in language. Now, normally, when we're having conversations with people, no big deal. We can cross that bridge back and forth, it's easy. But when we are dealing with an unknown language like energy is when you first get started, it can kind of get stuck in the corpus callosum. It's not used to being good at transferring this energy or being the translator, and it can cause a difficulty. But when you move the pen into the other hand, you are skipping the step of transferring hemispheres, and the information that you received is immediately fed through that hand because the hemispheres go diagonally. So it doesn't matter whether you're left-handed or right-handed. It just right hemisphere goes to left hand and vice versa. And if you are left-handed, then the hemispheres function merely are reversed, but it's the same thing. So if you can hear them clearly, you don't need to switch the pen back and forth. When I am a channel, and when I channel, I could not write with my left hand quickly enough or clearly enough for me to be able to see what the information they were sharing. So I no longer use that technique unless I am completely confused and standing in my own way. And then I will use that. But if you feel that you're not getting clarity, try writing the question with your right hand and then writing the answer with your left hand. And now you don't have to go through the whole translation process, and where a lot of the confusion comes. If that doesn't feel comfortable, try making a list of all of the job duties and checking in with your gut about what you should be doing and what you should not be doing.
Actually, I've gotten to the point where I just want to leave. I feel so done. As I mentioned, we've been working out for several months, over a year, regarding transitioning these duties away from me. But always something seems to come up.
And I'm so proud of you for saying that. I did not want to say that. That's what I felt that you should do, because I felt that it needed to come from you. I do not feel that you're being honored there. 14 months of discussion is way too long. A week is plenty. 14 months is just an excuse. And it's time for you to begin feeling good. I want you to begin becoming truly selfless, which means you're going to fill up with things that make you feel good. And you're going to give from your overflow. Right now, they've emptied you, and they're asking you to continue to give. And that's not honoring or loving.
So I haven't found a new position yet, and that's where it all comes together. I've been asking the angels for help. And I know that there's divine timing and our own timing and so forth. Have I not learned the lesson? Was there another layer to the lesson I had to learn? Because, again, I just, there's not another job lined up yet, even though I've been looking for months.
And I understand that, but I want you to step out of fear and into faith. Angels, I trust you completely. Thank you for showing me the way out of this job. We all tend to step into fear and to panic when we're in something unexpected happens. Back into trust, back into faith, back into that knowing place. And you can also ask them, angels, could you please make if I need to stay here in this current job for a period of time, could you please make it more interesting or more exciting, or allow me to feel more honored? Can you help me with this work environment? Begin learning the thing that you asked, is there more to the lesson? The other part is to learn to honor you, to begin really accessing the ability to be selfless by filling you first. So that means you're going to have to learn how to say to them when they say, "Oh, will you go clean the toilets?" No, that's not in my job description, and I'm not going to do that. I know that you need someone to do that. I completely understand, but I'm not going to be able to help you with that.
Mm-hmm. Well,
love yourself so much that you're able to only do that which feels good to you.
mm-hmm.
It's going to take some growing. And I don't mean that in a unloving way. I've been where you are. It's going to feel fabulous. But right now it's a little scary because you've never, ever put yourself first. Ask the angels to help you. Take little baby steps. You're not going to be able to go in there and immediately say, "How dare you ask me to do that? Who do you think I am?" That's not going to come out of your mouth. Don't expect it to. Instead, say, "I'm just not feeling that I'm going to be able to do that for you," or a softer version. You don't have to be tough. You have to be self-loving. And that does mean that everybody isn't going to get their needs met by you. They're going to have to learn how to meet their own needs, and that will help them grow. You're not hurting anyone because you're asking the angels to help you do that which is for the highest good of all concerned. And sometimes that means they have to grow too. And you are not going to be the one that does everything for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So your way out the door is to begin pulling back and into that place of self-love. I don't want you coming back from work feeling exhausted, drained, and unappreciated. I want you feeling good. As you feel better and better, you will be faster at manifesting this new job. The opportunities will be able to come to you more easily as you open up to really feeling good about you.
Well, angels, you heard her. Come on, help me out.
They are absolutely 100% on your side, and they are never happier than when we get the understanding that when you start saying, "Hey, I matter," they will be delighted. They want to hear you say those words. "Hey, I matter. It's important that I feel good. I'm an important part of this world, and I matter just like everyone else." That is a beautiful thing to say, because as you're able to see all that you are, the beauty that you are, and as you allow that to rise in you instead of being hidden from view because you're so exhausted and you're so busy being their servant, as you really rise up and be the beautiful being that you are, your light begins affecting even more people. You become an even more powerful force for good than you ever were when you were in a situation where you were allowing people to take advantage of you. Right now you're helping 2, maybe 3 people. Pretty soon you're going to be impacting thousands with your light. Now, we went way over time, everyone. So, thank you so much. This has been absolutely so fun. And I got to tell you, I want to thank you all for playing along with me as I have a little panic attack over the technology. It actually worked perfectly because it was such a good example. But I just want you to know that if you are speaking with the angels, if you are interacting with the energetic realm, it will encourage you to be loving, to be kind. And that means including yourself in that love. And to only do that which feels good to you as you have them help you make choices that are for the highest good of all concerned. You are so very loved, but we're not used to being loved. So it is time for everyone. Open your heart and invite the love of the angels, of the energetic realm of the divine into your heart. You all are amazing, fabulous, wonderful beings, and you're just not used to seeing all that you are. So your assignment, your homework for this week is to begin seeing yourselves as you really are, beautiful beings of light. So, everyone, we've got to go. I thank you so much. Until next Sunday, I'm sending you all my love, and we will be back on the correct time next Sunday. So it will be 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And always, you may access my website. It's marciamartinthehearthealer.com. Marcia spelled Marcia. And on my website, there are free resources that you are welcome to take advantage of. Please, these blogs are channeled from the divine. I learn so much by writing these blogs because I'm learning just like you are. So take advantage of the blog. If you feel that you need more help, I have a community that's just beginning on Patreon. You can access that through my website. Right now, I am completely filled for one-on-one work, but I still am offering the complimentary consultation to give you some support and help, and then you can go on a waiting list for the one-on-ones whenever they are opening up. But if you need help now, for less than $8 a month, you can join me on Patreon, and I am putting new video material in there all the time so that you can be supported on a regular basis. Again, until next Sunday, I'm sending you all my love.